Well, this week in the Senate, something strange and unusual happened. It was the first time in my many years of covering and following proceedings in the Senate to see it happen. There were primary school children from Kirinyaga and Murang'a counties who were seated at the Speaker's gallery following proceedings in the August House yesterday. I'm sure they were looking forward to the trip to witness firsthand what the honourable senators do in Nairobi. Unfortunately, the Wednesday afternoon sitting was not exactly what we would want our children treated to. The senators were in a foul mood, brawling over the changes in the minority team announced a week ago during a parliamentary group meeting attended by Azimio leader Raila Odinga. The key issue being the removal of Isiolo Senator Fatma Dulo from the lucrative Senate minority whip position. To avoid the embarrassment of primary school pupils watching a dishonorable quarrel between majority and minority senators, the sergeant-at-arms had to escort the children out of the Senate building. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what really worried me. I was perturbed because even in the Roman Empire, where the Senate concept originated, a Senate is a house that would comprise the elders and therefore was considered wiser and more experienced members of the society or the ruling class. But there was nothing wise or experienced in the shouting contest we all witnessed yesterday in the afternoon. That is why I was deeply disturbed. In developed democracies, the Senate has the duty of holding the country together in times of crisis. This is because its members are expected to be more experienced, thoughtful, and well-grounded. And the Senate is not a place of noise. Wise people don't make noise. They reason together. They agree to disagree with decorum and order. For the record, let me say I have a soft spot for the Senate. Over the years, I have found debates in the Senate mature, thought-provoking, analytical, and even with some historical context. The profile of the Senate in the 11th and 12th parliaments has given flashes of maturity and experience. We cannot accuse the Senate of lacking in quality in the last 10 years. The quality of debate in the Senate has been markedly different from the discourse in the National Assembly. We must give credit where it is due. The Senate has often oozed experience and class. The last two Senates have produced men and women of high caliber. I'm talking about the likes of Moses Wetangula, James Orengo, Amos Wako, Mutahi Kagwe, Kipchumba Murkomen, Professor Kithure Kindiki, to mention but a few. Even the current majority leader, Aaron Cheriot, has acquitted himself well in the last two houses. The 13th Senate has equally good quality lawmakers, but the Wednesday afternoon events no doubt left a bitter taste in the mouth. The quality of the Senate has often been reflected in the calmness and restraint of the speakers. David Ekwe-Ethuro and Ken Lusaka guided the House despite the many challenges in their tenure. Today, looking at the Wednesday afternoon situation, we remember the two speakers for their warm demeanor. They wore their robes well. They fitted well in those honored clothes. I'm not sure I can say the same about the current speaker, but maybe time will acquit him. What am I saying? The Senate has often insisted that it was the upper house. The events yesterday, that brawl over the minority leadership, shows nothing upper in the Senate. It was actually a low moment. The street-like brawl smelt of dishonor and disgrace. And even the senators themselves conceded yesterday afternoon when some sense prevailed. The conduct around the dispatch box yesterday in the Senate and this week has been way below the standards of an upper house. That notwithstanding, I remain a big fan of the Senate. I hope maseneta hawatatuangusha tena. Having misbehaved very early in their term, I hope they will recollect themselves and truly be the upper house that the Senate ought to be. That's my punchline.